So Lotte, you said you left a message to your children in German. Do you remember how to, can you say it in English now for your grandchildren? A message to your grandchildren?
Well, I will try. I wanted to recreate the image of my father as a young man, whom I haven't met when he was at that stage, at the University of Heidelberg, where he just was an exuberant student. He did not care so much for what the professors told him in their lectures. He was just happy with the other students, and the students took the chance. They realized that this guy was a very good musician, a musician from the heart. He did not care to read music, so he just in his head composed and sang, and it must have been just fit into the picture of Heidelberg and the happy students. And what I saw later was the irony of the time. I mean, it was at the outbreak of the First World War, and you would have thought that this young man would just burst upon the scene at the wrong moment, because where would take him his exuberance and his just naughtiness, because he banged the piano. He did not take care of the instrument. He just said, "That's too high for you, all right? You set the tone and I will adjust the melody." So, and then off they roared. And there was really little of the, how should I say, of the atmosphere of the elite world, of the professors with all their knowledge. There was just youth and exuberance and joy of life. And like an explosion, hit the beginning of the First World War into this group, and not many survived. But my father survived, and we had just to pick up the shreds. There wasn't much left of the exuberance and the joy. There was just a man who turned away from the cruel experiences of the war, but he did not have any longer that joy of life. It was killed. It was killed by the grenades and the bombs that rained down onto their positions that they had to take in war. And what I felt was for his descendants, I would like just to catch a spark of the other spirit that was hidden and destroyed in Wilhelm for his own descendants to experience. So I could just try to show them what it was that was the potential of their grandfather. A man, a young man, who was a good gymnast, who was a good singer, who was just burstful from all his joy of life, and he could have given it to them if fate would have been a little or much more favored than to let all these bombs rain down on him and extinguish the fire that was burning in him, and that he would have liked to spread as a teacher in the schools, as a gymnast, and just as someone who would walk into a forest scene or would walk over the meadows and grab the next girl and just swing her around in a wild dance. That's the image he had of life, not the image that was imposed by him by history. So just be happy to have him as a grandfather, great-grandfather, and develop in yourself this spark of life that he would have liked to kindle in you, and he would be very, very happy to be with you, and you would be happy to be with him.
Thank you, Lotte. This is a wonderful testimony. Thank you.
I don't know whether I was able to capture something of his spirit, but it is now in old age that I discover in myself the power that he had in him, and what he could not tell his own children, great-grandchildren. I want just to leave a little fire of that in you, of him.
Thank you. On behalf of your children and grandchildren, this is very precious to them. Thank you.
Yes.
So what was the name of your grandfather and where was he
My
born?
grandfather was Johann Wilhelm Hörl, and he was born in Hirschhorn. No, in Langenthal, near Hirschhorn, on the Neckar River. And
Is that in Germany?
yes, that's Germany. That's very close to Heidelberg. That was the university town for the area. And the Odenwald was actually embedding all this with its firs and beautiful growth of trees and the Neckar River.
And what was
And
it?
there were also a few ruins of castles left
Oh, neat.
on the Neckar River that looked down to the floods and were throwing their image into the water.
Oh, nice.
There were many, many boat races on the Neckar River.
Oh. And what's the name of your grandmother?
My grandfather's name was Sophie.
Sophie. Okay. And where was she from? The same area?
She was from the same area, I think a few villages removed from where her fiancé was born.
Neat.
She was a very quiet woman.
Yeah. But you said that she was very generous too?
Well, I would not be able to give an image of her character because she just saw to it that everyone was happy, were fed, and that they had their fun. Indeed, my father didn't want her to know how late he would be coming back from his parties. So he used any trick to get into the house, even if he had to climb up the facade to the bedroom, to his bedroom, which was under the roof. She shouldn't know. And next morning she would say, Willem, when did you come home? Oh, don't worry, Mother. I found my bed. Plump, plump.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I have to add another joke, because Sundays his father,
Okay. What was the...
I would add another story that was making the rounds. His mother really never had an idea how late her son would come back from parties. One day he found the door locked, because his mother thought, now he has at least to knock when he comes home, because he didn't have a key. But my father glanced over the facade, saw one window open under the roof, and then he figured how he would climb to that open window, and he managed. And when he jumped into the room, he fell practically in the bed that was standing underneath the roof, and fell asleep, and was very sure that his mother had not any idea how late it was that he hit that bed. But the next Sunday, his father had planned that his son should replace him in playing the organ. So Willem had to get up, as drowsy as he was, get into his pants and go to the church, and just made it for the first of the church hymns to play on the organ. The people in the church just smiled, because this hymn was played in a rhythm and much too fast to be played by his father. They say, that's not his father, that's him, that's Willem, who is playing the organ this time. Yeah. Well, if anyone asked afterwards, the people who came from the church door, who has been playing, father or son? Oh, they said, we know it must have been Willem, because it was much too fast. We had such a trouble to follow. It was more march song than a church hymn.